My name is Joe Thomas. I'm a social studies teacher from Mesa, and I currently serve as president of the Arizona Education Association. We want to thank you all for being here for part of this historic kickoff. We have these events going across the state. This is the one in Central Phoenix, and we just want to thank you all for being here. Today, the Invest in Arizona Coalition is launching a referral effort against three tax cut schemes for millionaires that, if enacted, will damage our state for a generation. Arizonans have been loud and consistent in their support for public education funding. That's why they stood with educators and Red for Ed movement, and that's why they voted to pass the Invest in Education Act. That's right. Yeah. Governor Ducey and the legislature this year had the opportunity to make real investments in public education for our students and our communities. Instead, they passed three massive tax cuts that primarily benefit the wealthiest of Arizonans and leave the rest of us without relief. Recent news has revealed Governor Ducey's priorities in trading tax cuts for the wealthy to support his political ambition, and this state budget follows that campaign plan. Our students and educators deserve better from our state's leaders. Voters deserve the ability to have a say in whether their dollars go to fund public schools or to millionaire tax cuts. That's why AEA and the Invest in Arizona Coalition are leading this effort to refer these three bad tax bills to the 2022 ballot. These three tax cuts may be what millionaires want, but they are bad for our educators. They are bad for our students and families, and they are bad for the future and the economy of Arizona. You are now going to hear from parents, students, educators, business leaders, and faith leaders who understand the urgency, like you do, that we must act now.
Thank you, everyone. My name is Stephen Chapman. I'm the president of the Friends of ASBA. Since 2008, Arizona children have been in schools that are not fully funded. School boards across the state are often faced with the choice of paying a fair salary to teachers, choosing between social emotional support for our students, and choosing between the arts and music programs. School boards across the state of Arizona believe that our children deserve all of these. 52% voted to support the education of our children. This legislature and governor not only disregarded the will of the voters, but ran through $1 billion giveaway. Elected officials should be working for our communities and not against them. Yeah. During a committee meeting this session, a state senator said that following the will of 52% of the voters was mob rule. It is abundantly clear that some do not respect your constitutional vote unless it fits their views. Arizonans, let's show them that you will not let your vote to support education be undermined by your public servants at the Capitol.
Hello everyone, my name is Seth Blattman. I'm a small business owner, Oak Arizona Furniture. We are the job-creating heart of Arizona's economy. These new tax laws have been misrepresented as helping small businesses. These tax cuts do nothing to help me. They help top-tier corporations and the ultra-rich, who happen to be the largest political donors. This hurts small business owners and our children in public schools. It makes me less competitive in terms of my future workforce, and it makes my business, it gives Arizona a bad name. It's bad for business. I have a 5-year-old nephew who's starting public school this year. And the people of Arizona overwhelmingly voted to give more money to him in his classroom. This legislation, I mean, it's a big middle finger to all of us, sorry. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Cynthia Elliott. I'm the parent of a special needs child in Mesa schools. How does the flat tax and the other tax changes trickle down to my daughter? Zainab is 22 years old. She's profoundly deaf with multiple disabilities and complex medical needs. Her high school deaf education program was decimated from 3 full-time teachers to 1 half-time teacher. The cuts to the general fund impact other services that her life depends on, literally. The flat tax hurts the existing shortage of services for our handicapped individuals, including the Department of Developmental Disabilities, vocational rehab, and behavioral health services. We adopted Zainab from foster care. No time today to discuss the current tax gifts to the wealthy and the impact on the 19,000 kids in foster care in Arizona. Governor Ducey, you promised to protect our vulnerable adults after Hacienda. You did not keep your promise. Governor Ducey, you promised to fund our schools, but did not listen to our voters when we passed Prop 208. I am terrified for Zainab's future. The referendum will change the fact that in Arizona, the vulnerable lose and the wealthy win.
I am Eileen Garces, a parent of 2 children in the Chandler Unified School District. The state has starved our districts for so long that we've almost gotten used to being underfunded. My youngest had to share biology textbooks because there were not enough books for each student. We need volunteers to teach art classes because we can't afford enough certified teachers. Students must pay fees to play sports or even to take a ceramics class. One cross-country season, my daughters had to clean up using the regular bathrooms on campus and using those sinks because there was no female coach hired to supervise them in the girls' locker room. Overcrowded facilities meant that their classes were held in trailers lacking adequate air conditioning or in the library because of the lack of classroom space. That's why we worked to pass Prop 208 last November, and I'm appalled that the legislature completely ignored the will of the voters by passing tax laws that will gut our state's general fund and the future needs of our public schools. We've had enough.
Hey everyone, hi friends. My name is Marnie Burris and I am Vice President of Phoenix Elementary Classroom Teachers Association and a proud 3rd grade teacher. Thank you. Teachers and students are exhausted from carrying the weight of an underfunded education system. My campus lost 10 highly qualified teachers at the end of this year because we've had enough. I've never taught in a fully funded classroom, so I work 3 jobs to provide all of the materials that my students need so that they can have the education they deserve. And I also use my own personal funds for professional development opportunities because my district is starved. I want to be the strongest and most effective teacher for my students, but how am I supposed to do that in a classroom where the air conditioning goes out for 10 days? How are my students supposed to learn in that classroom? I'm angry because my students don't even know to expect better. They have never been in a classroom that has been fully funded. The only education they've ever known has been in a deficit. I work with special education teachers who deal with caseloads of up to 40 students. These experiences are common, but they don't have to be. We gathered 400,000 signatures last year to change this inequity, but the legislature didn't listen. Now we must again stand with our children and our schools. I'm ready to use my teacher voice. Are you?
Yeah.
Good morning, friends. My name is Father Hunter Ruffin with Church of the Epiphany in Tempe and Arizona Interfaith Network. People of faith are instructed to care and protect children, the poor, the vulnerable, and those who live life on the margins. The tax restructuring is a direct attack on those very people. Some of the same people that helped us get through the last year and a half. Do you remember it? Thousands lost jobs. We were on the brink of economic collapse. 900,000 Arizonans infected, 18,000 dead. And who kept showing up? Essential workers. Those same people living life on margins. They made it possible for the wealthy to do even better financially. And now, the legislature and governor have enacted a tax structure that panders to the wealthy to the detriment of everyone else. Maybe they're hoping we're not paying attention. Well, I've got news for them. Then they try to tell us that we're supposed to feel good about getting $50 in our pockets when 75% of this benefit goes to the wealthy, around $350,000 per household. We're paying attention. We know that this rush tax code will handcuff our state in coming budget cycles. And we've noticed how it shortchanges the most vulnerable families in our communities. The actions that these elected officials have taken are shameful, a slap in the face of every one of us who cast a ballot in the last election. And today, we're standing up for those our elected officials have refused to defend: the poor, the vulnerable, our children, and those who live life on the margins. Friends, we can choose a better future for Arizona.
Thank you, Father Hunter. Hello, everyone. My name is Georgina Gonzalo, and I'm the organizing director for Stand for Children. I'm also a mother and a proud product of Arizona Public Schools. We've been at this fight for so long, and my son Jorge knows it so well. He's usually with me when we're collecting signatures, when we're making phone calls and going door to door. This fight is for him and for the thousands of other students that rely on public education. Last year, we accomplished a historic win for public education, but unfortunately, the governor cares more about the 1% than everyday Arizonans. So, once again, we're here to say enough is enough before it's too late. Our children, our families, and our communities deserve better. I want to thank everyone for being here, and I would like to give a special shout out to my field colleagues, Eric, Ellie, Beth, and all the volunteers helping us out here today. And I want to make a few asks on behalf of all of us today, because we need your help. We need to collect thousands of signatures, and we only have a short time frame to do it. So if you can, take out your phone right now and look up the site, www.INVESTinAZnow.com, and make it a favorite. Go on there and look for the next event. If you haven't already, take 30 seconds to volunteer. Share the website and any upcoming events with your friends, neighbors, and family members. And finally, make sure that you go around the building. We have petition stations for all three petitions, and also we have canvassing packets over there. If you can take a list and go canvass with a friend right now, and check out some petitions. You know, this is it. So we're going to do this again, and we're going to do it again. Thank you. And Rebecca and Jill.
Well, we wanted to save some time if we had any press that wanted to ask any questions, but they'll be watching this on social media as well, which is fantastic. But they're going to see you out in the field. They're going to be reporting on this effort for the next 90 days, and then as we launch a successful campaign to push back on these tax cuts. It's going to take every single one of us doing just a little bit. That's why it's incredibly important for you to be here and for you to talk about this with your friends, with the groups that you associate with your colleagues, with everyone. Arizonans support our students, our educators, and public schools. They believe that we should have support and stability in our communities. These tax cuts work against all of that. As the Father said, we can pick a better pathway forward, and we're going to. So thank you all for being here. Let's get out. Let's spread the news that it's time to invest in Arizona now.